And today we're going to be diving into 5 powerful ways you can start healing from the trauma of a toxic relationship. Whether you're just beginning your journey or you're looking to strengthen your emotional boundaries, these tips will help you reclaim your life with clarity and confidence. First up, let's talk about manipulation. Toxic individuals often use manipulation to control and confuse you. You might notice this through subtle guilt trips or gaslighting, or where they blame you for actions they've done. They make you doubt your own reality. But once you learn about these tactics, you can regain your power. Pay close attention to patterns like someone always shifting the blame on you, like feeling like you can't get anything right, rewriting events to make themselves feel innocent, or them getting angry or changing the subject and starting to attack you because you've brought something up. It's like one of my clients, Kat. She couldn't leave a toxic relationship. It was destroying her career. Her self-esteem was at an all-time low. And the worst thing was she was a director. She got a lot of steam from her job. And then a psychopath joined her team. And that person was destroying her team, destroying her reputation, and was manipulating senior level staff. So she decided she was going to leave. She joined another organization who valued her, and she's now earning more, and she's got a sideline business as well, because she never ever wants to be in a position where she's devalued in this way. So over the next week, I want you to just take note of some of the conversations where you feel you're being confused, or you feel blamed, or you're not sure why people are treating you differently. Write these moments down in a journal along with how you felt, because awareness is your first step of reclaiming your mental power, your mental space. Number 2, your body is an incredible guide when it comes to emotional healing. Often trauma from toxic relationships can show up physically. You can feel it, tightness in your chest, or you feel constantly exhausted, like a constant fatigue, or you feel like this fear of feeling of being on edge all the time. These are signs that your body is telling you something's wrong. And learning to be able to tune into these signals can help you process and release the stored emotional trauma, emotional pain. It's like my client Samantha. She was struggling so much with anxiety symptoms, like, so many panic attacks, stress. But honestly, when she started to acknowledge the pain that she'd been through from a young child, some of that started to cease in the way she started to view herself. She was quite annoyed at herself every time she would have like a panic attack or have some fear, because she hadn't really put it into perspective of, it's understandable that I would feel so much fear given the background, given my childhood, and maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself, but instead be more compassionate, more loving, and more understanding that I'm feeling this way. And as she started to do that, she started to realize the panic attacks were going. Most of it was the fear of having the panic attack, the fear of not being good enough. But once she became more accepting and loving and kind to herself, everything started to shift and change, because the nervous system felt that it was okay to maybe not get things right all the time, and it's okay because she's a human being. As this started to shift, she found that she was able to achieve a lot more. Her career, her life, everything's starting to shift. She's so much happier just through being more loving towards herself. So an action point would be, spend a bit of time whilst, you're just waking up, just to sort of do a scan of where you are, what you're feeling. And instead of giving yourself a hard time because you might be feeling some fear or anxiety, it's actually being kinder to yourself because you're feeling that. And then it'll start to shift. It'll also allow you to become aware, if you have trauma, is there trauma that's manifesting itself in your body physically? And then you can do something about it. You can heal the trauma. And if this is something you need support with, maybe, life is getting too overwhelming at the moment, and you need a way of being able to process and calm your body down and process your emotions, then please look in the resources section. You can start to release all of this and get your confidence back. You can also join a membership. I've got a membership now where you can ask me anything. We meet once a month. Starts in November, and you also get access to online training once a week to help you heal the trauma. There's a 30-day trial if you want to try it. Tip number 3, one of the most important steps in healing is knowing that it's okay for us to create boundaries. Sometimes we think we have to be this evil person if we have boundaries, that it's unkind. But no, actually, if you come from a space of self-love for yourself, you also have a space of love for others. So you can create boundaries coming from a space of love. That way you won't feel guilty about saying no to someone because it's coming from a good space where you're putting yourself first, and it's the right thing for everyone. That's not selfish. Not by clearly defining what you will or won't tolerate. And know that if there's a toxic person in your life, they are going to break down your boundaries because they don't understand that someone else can have boundaries. But you practice it or try and practice it without feeling guilt. And if you feel that the guilt is too much, it might mean that you have some trauma around setting boundaries and you just need to release that trauma. So this week, have a think about what you're going to say no to, but also what you're going to say yes to. It's when we can say no to something that enables us to say yes to something. Tip number 4, after experiencing manipulation, betrayal, or any trauma of any kind, trusting others and even trusting ourselves can be really difficult. A huge part of healing is learning to trust ourselves, our own judgment. We need to start small and recognize situations where your intuitions are right and remind yourself that following your own guidance system is really valuable. By recognizing your inner guidance, you'll strengthen that connection with it, and slowly you'll begin to trust yourself again. This sets the foundation to be able to trust others, because if you can trust your own guidance system, you'll know when you can or can't trust someone else. At the end of the day, why not look at where you have followed your gut instinct and it's been right, and celebrate those wins? Tip 5, one of the most effective tools to healing trauma is finding a safe way to express your emotions or become aware of your emotions, whether it's through trauma therapy or even creative outlets like art or theatre. Releasing those pent-up emotions is so incredibly liberating because it gives you the space to process the pain so you can make sense of it, you can learn from it, and ultimately release it from your life. So start becoming aware of how you feel. No judgments towards yourself. And maybe you want to journal, but if journaling isn't your thing and you've tried journaling, maybe it's time to get some trauma therapy and engaging in ways of processing that emotion freely. Healing from toxic relationships is a journey, but it's really not one that you need to take alone. If you have found these tips helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe button and leave a comment for your biggest takeaways, because then someone else can be inspired by you. Sending you so much love. Till next time.